Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different, and if you're returning, welcome back. You know how we do. If it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. So let's go ahead and let's begin. Interesting. We have joy, rejoicing in the present, and it's sitting opposite of graveyard, unnecessary fear. Someone here, something has ended here with graveyard. There's a RIP, RIP, RIP. So it's ended on 3 different levels. This is a situation that may have ended on an emotional level, physical level, and a spiritual level. I am seeing the World card with that, so this represents the closing out of a cycle. But the graveyard, though, we dig deep in the graveyard. I feel that even though this represents the closing out of a cycle in 3D, now the work is to dig inside and root out the reason why the cycle existed in the first place. There's a behavior that has changed, possibly, but there's a pattern that keeps representing itself in our 3D that now we're getting to the bottom of. As we're going through this process, someone here is really trying to embody this energy, this joyful energy here. Notice how the joy card is actually a woman with these wings that are actually a fall leaf, like a leaf. This is not something that's growing. This is not something that's new. This is something that is mature and dying. So it's almost like the struggle to maintain this joyful energy, this spring dawn sort of energy as the fall is happening. And there is like this image of a black ocean that's like very tumultuous coming into my mind now. We may be having a very difficult time navigating this transition. Again, the transition is something that keeps coming up for this collective over the last 3 to 4 weeks. It's been a while now. So many of you are recognizing that this transition, whatever it is, it's a slow process. It's not going to be something that's like one and done, right? There's a whole layer to ourself that's starting to change and starting to transform in this energy. For many of you, this is going to be about your personal power, and it's going to have its roots in our childhood. In our childhood. That's how it feels. Okay, let's see. The Chariot. Again, definitely moving on from something here with the Chariot card, moving on from something that was destroyed. Preceding the Chariot card is the Moon, not in the Major Arcana cycle, it's the water cycle of the Major Arcana. And so with that Moon and the Death card, we have that sort of Piscean creature, something that was hidden, comes in, destroys things, and there's an ending, and then the Chariot card goes outside the city and it parks for a minute, waiting for the aftermath and waiting to catch a breather to recalibrate. Here with the Chariot card, this is very much the energy that someone's in. The aftermath has already happened. You've already seen the things you need to see. And now you're sitting outside of what has just ended, trying to catch a breather just a little bit, trying to regain this joy, and maybe releasing unnecessary fear. Maybe releasing unnecessary fear for some of you. And this is taking a great deal of strength. In some ways, whoever this message is for, you may feel like you're trying to preserve some shreds of yourself in this change. If you look, both of them are bound like mummies, and this really represents preservation. You may have left a situation to preserve yourself, your dignity, your identity, who you are as a person. You may have felt like you were losing parts of yourself to whatever the situation was. Here with the Eight of Bats, this is really about being stuck in our heads. This seems to be a deeply psychological battle that's taking place at this time, because someone feels like they have to maintain this joyful energy. You're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to feel sad. You don't always have to be in this energy. In fact, the more you force this energy, the more negative experience energies that we don't want to have, the more they persist, right? We're not allowing them to process. And then what do we have? We have energy blocks, and this manifests in physical disease. So someone here, allow yourself to let go of the need to be joyful all the time. This might be a time where you really need to unravel what has happened and allow yourself to go deep, deep, deep inside the dark spaces of self in order to process. I'm hearing from this card, I'm so glad I got out of that. So someone here, you may feel that way. You may feel like, oh my God, thank God I got out of that. I feel that some of you feel like you dodged a bullet. Oh, it's so funny how things happen. I'm going to share this with you guys. I was looking at this card and I just heard He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and then the World card, which is also known as the Universe, came out. So another mummy showing up. These are Halloween decks, but that's a lot of mummies. I mean, come on, get real. 3 mummies. Again, we have the repetition of the number 3. With the World card, again, this is a cycle that's ended. And with every ending, with every completion, there's going to be this process of internally folding within, so that what you can be reborn, right? You're cycling inward now so that you can cycle back outward later. So, I always say on this channel that sometimes after we end things from a heart space stance, our heart will close down. And it's not that anything's wrong with our heart closing down for a little while. That's what has to happen sometimes in order for it to heal. And that's what's happening here. Your entire emotional body seems like it's kind of shutting down right now, and forcing you to go within to confront these residual energies that maybe we didn't confront when we were involved in the situation, or maybe these energies that are a pattern. They're left behind from a pattern of situations that are like this, and these energies are ready to heal now. Someone here, you have something taking place where you are ready to process something that may have been very much preserved in very deep spaces within the self. The fact that it's coming out with a 3rd mummy being the Hierophant, this tells me that this is a soul level thing, right? This is a soul level, very spiritual level of learning. So this may be an energy that has been persistent in our entire life. This sort of, whatever the energy is that is causing this particular cycle, or a particular pattern. And this is what we're kind of unraveling now in order to resolve. We have greed and we have the Magician. Okay, these two are coming out. I feel that these are the energies that we are experiencing here. We're experiencing other people who want to take, or who have greed, or who feel that you should fill a role. And this is one way that they kind of manipulate your energy, right? There's some very manipulative stuff coming up with this Magician card. I don't read that like the normal Magician card. These two sitting right next to the World. Lots of themes about boundaries, right? Our correct use of power, where our power is going, where our energy is going, are coming up. And because someone has just left this situation behind, remember that the energy that you're vibrating at is an attractor, right? Other people can sense that. So if you're in a place where you're going into these deeper spaces, these darker spaces, and you are, for example, processing a lot of sadness or a lot of shame or a lot of guilt, this may be not the best time to really accept any new connections that are coming your way, right? Obviously use discernment for your own situation. Every situation is going to be different. But if you look back at your life and you see when new people entered your life, you'll see a pattern start to emerge. And that pattern is that they always wound up making you feel the way that you felt in the very beginning when they first appeared. Not felt towards the person the way that you felt about yourself or about a situation that you were in. So that's not always the case, but it is the vast majority of times. So pay attention to that pattern inside of your life. Be very mindful of the energy that you're in when someone new enters your life. Be very mindful of the energy that you're in right after you meet the person. There's a lot of number 3s showing up inside of this reading. We have the 3 mummies, we have the 3 RIPs, we have 3 moons showing up. That last eclipse cycle that we just went through probably kicked this off for somebody. I almost feel that we had like this deep, profound spiritual experience, and then all of a sudden we closed out a cycle. Yeah. Okay. We have strength showing up again. So you have 2 strength cards coming out. There's a lot of strength that someone is trying to have here. For some of you, it is going to be strength to stay in the position of the Chariot rather than going back and trying to rush in to rescue the city that death has swept through. Some of you might be finding, particularly this week, that you're wanting to rush back into something. Hold off on that. Right? It can wait a week. Let it just wait a week and see if you feel the same way after this week is over. One of the things that's going on here is that there seems to be some heartache that is processing here. But your guidance is that this heartache is part of the path. And there is something very significant about wintertime here that is coming in. So it's almost as though this heartache is something that has to be felt, or this loss or this grief or whatever it is something that will be felt into the fall. There's no way to get around that. It's going to be felt into the fall as things process, as your perception shift, as you realize certain things, right? This is the work. This is the work. And so some of you, the thing that you left behind may have been something that felt very karmic, right? It might have been a karmic cycle that closed out because the karma is in you. That's the karma that we're projecting into the world, right? The work happens in here. That's what karma means. It's the work. So with this heartache, this is part of the path. This is part of the path that you're on. This is what is taking you into the next version of yourself. Allow it to be. Allow yourself to sit with it. Allow yourself to process it and to feel it completely, because it has things to show you. Okay, let's see. Okay, yep. Advice is the High Priestess. Observe. Observe. Be vulnerable with yourself. Open yourself to the energy. Allow the energy to flow through you and away from you, right? Okay, what else is there over here? Is that it? Okay, I'm hearing one more. Someone is about to clean house. Someone is about to clean house. Whether that's literal or it's symbolic about the people around you. Some of you are really getting ready to clean house. We have the witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. And this is about, for me, this is about creating the life that you want. Right? Really creating things that you see for yourself. There may have been other energies as this collapse was happening. There may have been other energies that came in that are almost a repeat of this energy in like maybe a lesser degree. And so what we have here is we have Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities. One of the things that has to be remembered is that as you're focusing on yourself and you're focusing on your own desires, your own wants, your own needs, the things that you're trying to craft for yourself, the things that you're trying to build for yourself, if you are able to remember that there's infinite possibilities ahead of you, right? When we close a door, it's always a possibility that that door will reopen. Should it? Should it? That gets to be your decision. And it's a decision you'll make based on the lessons that you've learned, based on the things that you're allowing yourself to see, based on the level of naivety that you're willing to adopt or not willing to adopt. So when we have this witch card, the witch is someone who takes that power and takes that control for herself. Sometimes it can be a little bit too controlling, right? It might be trying to force other people into boxes that they don't belong into. Some of you have people who have re-entered your life that you're trying to do just that. You're trying to change the narrative of who they've already shown you that they are. And this is a way that we control things to try to keep ourselves safe. Unfortunately, it doesn't keep us safe. It puts us back in a pattern. So I am a little concerned here that I do have the witch and the magician showing up together when it's from this deck over here. Because you may be experiencing somebody here who is a little manipulative. So be mindful of that and keep your eyes open for that, especially if it's a newer energy that has entered your life again as you've been going through this. With the graveyard and unnecessary fear, we may be a little hyper vigilant about control, about who's trying to control us and who's trying to control the narrative. So just remember to relax into yourself, to relax into your feelings, to process. This may be a good time to kind of let everyone know, hey, I'm not going to be available for a few days. I need to be by myself to think. Because whoever this message is for, you're actually really going through it right now. And there's some very deep processing that's happening. Again, certain things that have been preserved within us are coming unraveled. And they're ready to be processed and ready to be seen now. We have to be willing to see them. We have to get out of this energy of, I just want to be happy, I just want to be happy, I just want to be happy. Where we deny, because the only person that you're really hurting by doing that is yourself in some very lasting ways. So allow yourself to feel these things. Allow yourself to be in that tumultuous emotion ocean and to see where it's taking you, because it is trying to take you someplace that's very important within yourself in order to clear something out. And you can feel these things without feeling that something is wrong with you. All right? You can feel these things without feeling like there's anything wrong with you. So whoever's message this is, if this resonates with you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.